In the bustling city of Noorabad lived a man named Farid. He was one of the country's most successful businessmen. He owned massive factories, luxury cars, and magnificent homes. There was one thing about him that left everyone puzzled. Wherever he went, he repeated the same sentence: never save money. People were always surprised to hear those words. Some laughed and said, "What kind of advice is that?" Others whispered, "If such a wealthy man is saying this, there must be a secret behind it." Farid never explained what he meant. He would simply smile and walk away. In the same city lived a hard-working young man named Zaid. His father was a humble tailor, and his mother earned extra income by sewing clothes from home to support the family. Zaid dreamed of becoming a successful businessman one day. One evening, he watched an interview with Farid on television. The interviewer asked, "Sir, what advice would you like to give to young people?" Farid smiled and replied with just one sentence: "Never save money." That was all he said before the interview ended. Zaid was amazed. He thought to himself, if such a successful man says this, it must be true. The very next day, Zaid completely changed his lifestyle. As soon as he received his monthly paycheck, he bought expensive clothes, upgraded to the latest smartphone, treated his friends to fancy dinners, and spent money freely on things he didn't really need. Whenever his mother advised him, "Son, you should save some money for the future," Zaid would laugh and reply, "Mom, successful people say you should never save money." His father remained silent, watching him with concern. Deep down, he knew his son had misunderstood something very important. Months passed. Although Zaid earned a decent income, he always ended each month with an empty wallet. One day, his motorcycle broke down. The mechanic inspected it and said, "The repairs will cost 50,000 rupees. Zaid checked his pocket. He had only 500 rupees. He asked several friends to lend him money, but no one was able to help. That same evening, tragedy struck. His father suddenly suffered a heart attack. The doctor said immediate treatment was necessary and handed Zaid a costly estimate. Zaid felt as if the ground had disappeared beneath his feet. He checked his bank account. It was empty. He searched every drawer and every cabinet at home. There wasn't a single emergency fund. For the first time in his life, he realized that although he had earned plenty of money, he had never prepared for the future. Tears filled his eyes. He sat alone on a bench outside the hospital, blaming himself for every careless decision he had made. Just then, a white luxury car pulled up in front of the hospital. The door opened. The man who stepped out was someone the entire country recognized: Farid. Zaid immediately recognized him. He rushed toward Farid and angrily shouted, "Your advice ruined my life. You always said never save money. I believed you, and now I don't even have enough money to pay for my father's treatment." Farid listened quietly without interrupting. After a moment of silence, he took a deep breath and said, "Son, you heard my words, but you never understood what they truly meant." Zaid stood there in complete shock. Farid looked at him and calmly said, "If you truly want to know why I tell the world, never save money, come to my office tomorrow morning at exactly 8 o'clock. I'll explain everything." With those words, Farid got back into his car and drove away. That night, Zaid couldn't sleep. Only one question kept running through his mind. Why would a wealthy businessman tell people never to save money? He had no idea that the answer to that question was about to change his life forever.
The next morning, Zaid arrived at Farid's office before the scheduled time. His mind was filled with countless questions. The receptionist smiled and said, "Mr. Farid is expecting you." Zaid walked into the office and saw Farid sitting behind a simple desk. On the desk, there was nothing but a notebook and a pen. Farid smiled warmly and said, "Have a seat, Zaid." Zaid didn't waste a second. "Sir, you always say never save money. If people don't save money, what will they do when hard times come?" Without saying a word, Farid handed him a glass of water and replied, "Let me tell you the story of my life. 25 years ago, I was just as poor as you are today. I worked day and night, saving every single dollar I earned in a small box. For 10 years, all I did was save money. I didn't invest in myself. I didn't learn any new skills. I didn't start a business. I believed that simply saving money was the key to success. Then one day," Farid paused for a moment. "One night, my house caught fire. Everything I had saved was burned to ashes. By morning, I had nothing left." Zaid listened in complete silence, unable to take his eyes off Farid. At my lowest point, an elderly man came to me and said, "Don't let your money sit still. Put it to work for you." At first, I didn't understand what he meant, but with the little money I had left, I enrolled in a training course, learned new skills, and started a small business. In the beginning, I lost money. People laughed at me. They said I would never succeed, but I refused to give up. Fareed leaned forward and said, "From that day on, I always kept a portion of my income as an emergency fund, and I invested the rest in my education, my skills, and my business. Year after year, my business continued to grow. A few years later, I became a successful businessman." He looked directly into Zaid's eyes. "When I say never save money, I don't mean you should waste every dollar you earn. What I really mean is this: don't let your money sit idle forever. Invest it in your education, your skills, and your business so it can grow and create more opportunities for you." At that moment, Zaid realized the mistake he had made. He lowered his head and said, "Sir, I followed your words without understanding their true meaning." Fareed smiled gently. Half knowledge is one of the most dangerous things in life. Then he picked up an envelope and handed it to Zaid. Inside was a check, but there was also a handwritten note. The note contained only one sentence. "This is not a loan, it is a test. Let's see whether you spend this money or use it to change your life." Zaid stood there silently, holding the envelope tightly in his hands. He knew that the most important decision of his life was about to begin.
Zaid couldn't sleep the entire night. He held the envelope Fareed had given him tightly in his hands. One question kept echoing in his mind. If I waste this money the way I used to, my life may never change. The next morning, the first thing Zaid did was pay for his father's medical treatment. Instead of buying an expensive smartphone, a brand new motorcycle, or designer clothes with the remaining money, he purchased a small woodworking machine that could create beautiful furniture designs. He cleaned his father's old shop work and decided to start his business there. At first, he received only 2 orders. He completed both jobs with complete honesty, dedication, and excellent craftsmanship. The customers were extremely satisfied with the quality of his work. Slowly, word spread throughout the city. More and more people began recommending Zaid's furniture. Within 6 months, he had so many orders that he could no longer manage the work alone. He hired 3 unemployed young men from his neighborhood and gave them jobs. 1 year later, his small shop work had grown into a fully operating furniture factory. Every month, he set aside part of his income as an emergency fund while investing the rest in better equipment, new skills, and expanding his business. Now he finally understood exactly what Fareed had meant. One day, Zaid's old friend Kamran came to visit him. Looking around the successful factory in amazement, he asked, "Zaid, you used to spend money on everything. How did you become so successful?" Zaid smiled and replied, "At first, I only knew how to spend money. Then I thought success meant simply saving it. But real success came when I learned how to use money wisely." A few years later, Zaid was invited to speak at a major conference for young entrepreneurs. The auditorium was packed with ambitious young people. One young man stood up and asked, "Sir, what is the most important advice you can give us if we want to succeed?" Zaid paused for a moment, then smiled. "I once changed my life because of a single sentence, but I misunderstood its true meaning. Today, I'd like to explain it to you." He turned toward the large screen behind him and displayed the words in bold letters. The audience looked at one another in confusion. Then Zaid explained, "This doesn't mean you should waste your money. It means don't let your money sit idle forever. Invest in your education, invest in your skills, invest in your business, and at the same time, always keep a reasonable emergency fund for difficult times. Money grows when it is used wisely, not when it is wasted, and not when it simply sits untouched forever." The entire hall erupted into loud applause. In the front row, Fareed sat quietly with a proud smile on his face. He knew Zaid had finally understood the true meaning of his words. After that conference, Zaid helped hundreds of young people start their own businesses. He always left them with the same advice: money is a servant, not a master. Put it to work where it can create more opportunities for you. From that day forward, people no longer misunderstood the phrase, "never save money." They realized that its true message was never about careless spending. It was about investing wisely, continuously learning, growing your skills, building your future, and managing your finances responsibly.
Simply saving money is not success, And wasting money is not wisdom. True success comes from setting aside part of your income for the future while investing the rest in your education, skills, and the right opportunities so you can build a stronger life and a brighter future. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing moral stories and inspirational animal adventures.